are certain things that happen in life that we tend to blame ourselves for because we know that we were part of the reason why it happened. And then there's certain things in life that happens to us that isn't really 100% our fault, and we tend to find it hard to forgive ourselves. And that's what this video is about. This video is about forgiveness. This video is about you learning to forgive yourself. I mean, we talk a lot about forgiving other people and letting other people go, but some single mothers, including myself in the past, have found it hard to forgive ourselves. And I'm going to explain why that is. So there's a few reasons why some single mothers have found it hard to forgive themselves. And I'm just going to read from a note that I've taken down so I don't forget in this video. And one of them is being pregnant for the wrong man. This tends to cause bitterness within us. This tends to come with a lot of regret. You know, when you give birth to a child and then you realize that his dad is just absolutely, I don't want to call him trash because he's God's creation, but he's acting like someone that you would never want to have a child with. And then there's the not being able to take care of your child financially. The worst position a mother could ever be in is not being able to cater to your child, not being able to take care of your child financially, knowing fully well that it's your responsibility, right? And then also leaving your child with someone in order to pursue your dreams. There's a lot of guilt in doing that. Some mothers whose child are grown, you know, they don't really feel guilty about this, but if your child is still a baby, you might feel guilty about it. And maybe you've traveled, maybe you've moved to another country, and now you find it hard to take it easy on yourself. You find it hard to forgive yourself for making such decision. Abortion. Even though abortion is legal for a lot of people, some of you have aborted your child, and even though maybe for you, you might have thought that abortion was the best thing to do, but now you're living in guilt, now you're living in shame, now you're finding it hard to forgive yourself. Another one is rape. If you have been raped by someone in your family, raped by a stranger, you might find it hard to forgive yourself. You might hate yourself. You might feel like, why did this happen to me? That kind of thing. And then another one is feeling like you let yourself down. This is the one that affected me when I was pregnant. I found it hard to forgive myself because I felt like I let myself down, and my teenage years was robbed from me, and I couldn't do what other teenagers could do. I didn't have the freedom to do that because I had to look after a child. Another one is when your expectations are not met after giving birth to a child, or the expectations of family, the expectations of husband, expectations of career, everything. You find that everything just went down the drain after you have just given birth to a child. So these are the things that doesn't allow us to forgive ourselves. Now, there could be more, or there could be some that I have not mentioned. You can mention them in the comment section if you want to, but these were the ones that I could come up with the help of the Holy Spirit, obviously. And so the thing is, when society see a single mother, they tend to blame single mothers for putting themselves in that position, because a man cannot get in between our legs without our permission, unless if rape is happening, or human trafficking is happening, or child trafficking is happening, or sex trafficking is happening. Apart from those two things, us women, we have the power to say no, and the law of the land also punish men who decide to rape us, or who decide to harm us or abuse us. Okay, so the law also has its own protection for women, and women also have their own power to say no and to avoid such situation from happening. But in all, whether it's happened or not, forgiving yourself is something that you have to do, because when you don't forgive yourself, you continue to look down on yourself, you continue to live in shame, you continue to live in guilt, you continue to live in pain. And life shouldn't be like that. Okay, this video, I mean, sorry, not this video. The title of the name of this channel is called The Rich Mom Mindset. Okay, and it's called Rich Mom Mindset for a reason, because I want single mothers to live a prosperous life. I want single mothers to live their best life. I want single mothers to evolve and do what they're called to do, and not put themselves down because they've got a child with the wrong man, or because they got a child outside wedlock. Because some traditions, some community, they tend to put women aside once they have children. They tend to put women aside once they have kids outside wedlock. They look down on you. They believe that you can't achieve to anything, and you're just like a leftover to other men. And I don't want you to have that mindset, and I don't want you to grow and think like that. And if you want to become a rich mom, as in a rich mom mentally and physically, you have to forgive yourself. And one of the steps in forgiving yourself is to ask yourself, okay, what have I done to cause such a thing to happen? Okay, what was my part that caused it to happen? You can't do anything about the person who did it to you, but you can only fix yourself. And then when you've asked yourself that question, the next question is, what can I do to make sure that I don't end up in this position? So for me, when I got pregnant the first time and I let myself down, I was pissed at myself. After I gave birth, a few months later, I was still engaging in sexual activities. I was still fornicating until I came across one guy who I was dating, and we were, fornicating, and I thought I was pregnant again. I was so scared. I thought I was pregnant again. I had to rush to the GP to get myself a morning after pill to make sure that this does not happen the second time, because I cannot afford this to happen the second time while I'm 17 or 18 years old. Hell no. And so I rushed to the GP. I had to pay like 40 euros because I was in Ireland at the time. And the GP was like, okay, this should work. And one of the signs that you'll know it works is that you won't see your period for the next 2 months after I've used it, right? And even though the GP or the doctor had told me that, I was still panicking in my heart every single day for those 2 months, waiting for my period to come, waiting to know that I'm not in that position again. I'm not like pregnant at that time again. And I said to myself, for how long am I going to put myself in this position of fornicating and then being constantly worried that I might, get pregnant again as a teenager? And I said, you know what? From now on, the best thing for me to do is to make sure I stay away from sex until I get married. Because that's the only way I can change the script. If I continue fornicating outside wedlock, even if I use pills, condoms, whatever, there is still 99.9% chances of it happening again. How many single mothers do you know who got pregnant by accident the first time and it happened again the second time within the space of 3 to 5 years? Is a law. It's consistent, right? And so you have to ask yourself, how can I avoid this not happening the second time so it does not affect my future plans? For me, my plan was that I'm just not opening my legs to any guy until he has signed a contract to say, look, I am legally married to you. Until then, no guy has got access to me in terms of sex. Okay? And that was my decision. For some of you, you might decide to use pills, or you might decide to close your womb or whatever. But what I will say is, you have to ask yourself, what can I do to make sure that I don't put myself in this position again? And I feel like the more you practice celibacy, as in not engaging in sexual activity until you're married again, I feel like that way your value, the power in you to say no, you will begin to evolve into this woman who knows how to just say no to men without feeling guilty. Even if they say they love you, even if they gave you 1.2 million pounds in exchange for sex, you will know how to say no and stand your ground without feeling guilty. So asking yourself how I got to this point and how to avoid getting to this point is the first step to forgiving yourself. Because that way you then know in your mind that The only way this can happen again is when I let it happen again. But if I don't let it happen again, it's not going to happen again, right? That's the mindset. That's the mindset moving forward, is understanding the power and the strength that you have to say no. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy not to fornicate again, but with the help of God, with the help of the Holy Spirit, He will make it easier for you in order not to get into that position again. Because I'm aware that sex addiction is real. People focus a lot on cocaine addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, coke addiction, but sex addiction is real, and it's something that people are not talking about. But I feel like a relationship with God will help you in that department. Another thing with forgiving yourself is how you introduce yourself. You know, in the past, when I apply for things, or when I tell people, oh, I have to go pick up my son or something, and people be like, what? You got a son? And I'm like, yeah, I've got a son, but no, I had him when I was 16, but it wasn't planned. And I felt like I was always explaining myself. And one day I said to myself, I said, wait, why am I always explaining to people that I've got a child at 16, and I'm telling people, oh no, but it wasn't planned, like it just happened. And I realized I was doing that because I was afraid that people would judge me. I didn't want people to judge me without understanding the story of how I got pregnant and how I have a child at this point. And I said to myself, you know what? It's nobody's business on how I ended up pregnant at 16, or what happened that I gave birth to at 16. It's not a disease. Do you get what I mean? Having a child is not a disease. Being pregnant is not a disease. It's just life, okay? It's life giving birth to life. And it could happen at any stage for anyone. It could happen at any age for anyone. And it's not anyone's business to understand. It's just for me to know that this is what it is. And when I talk to people, I don't introduce myself as, oh, my name is Dami, I'm a single mom. I don't do that. And I know a lot of single moms do this, and you shouldn't, because a single mom is not a title. Single mom is not your title. Remember, this is a rich mindset channel, okay? And we are going to move different. Single mom is not a title. It's just explaining your current situation, that you are a single mom. Just like when you're married, you don't say, oh, my name is Dami and I'm married. Who says that? Nobody says that, right? They don't say, oh, my name is Shannon and I'm married. Oh, my name is Charles and Charles divorced. No. So why is it as a single mom? Why are you introducing yourself as, oh, Tina, my name is Tina, and Tina as a single mom? That's not your title. That's just your current situation. And that current situation could change once you get married. It could change at any time. So don't introduce yourself like that. If you're introducing yourself like that, it's because there's a part of you that you just haven't forgiven yourself, and you are thinking that people are going to judge you, or you want people to understand that, you know, this is what's happening, and they don't need to know. They don't need to know. Another thing that single mothers need to be aware of, like I mentioned earlier in this video, is taking off guilt, shame, pain, and the fear of people judging you. You need to remove the cloth of guilt. Feeling guilty about letting yourself down, letting people down. You went through it, okay? You went through it. Nobody else went through it with you. You had to go through it, okay? And you came out alive. Some people died and you didn't. And for that, you should forever be grateful. There are women who are looking for children and they can never have children. I don't know why, but you have. So just be grateful. The cloth of shame, feeling like, I know now we've got a lot of podcasts out there talking about, I'm not dating single moms are this, single mom are that, blah, blah, blah. You need to stop listening to those people. Those people are not good for your mental health. Those people are the same people that would still end up sleeping with a single mom anyway. So you need to stop feeling ashamed. A single mom is not a disease. It's not a disease. It's just explaining the situation. And I know some of you come from a community where they look down on single mom. Let me tell you something. If people are looking down on you, It's because you're not doing something inspiring. The day you decide to do something inspiring, they can't look down on you no more. They will look up to you, and they won't even tell you that they're looking up to you. They won't even tell you that they're stalking you. They wouldn't even tell you that they're inspired by you. So if people are putting you down, it's because you're not doing something inspiring. You're just living the regular schmegler life. Wake up, take the child to school, bring the child home, do some homework, cook dinner, go to bed. That's regular schmegler life. You should not be living regular schmegler life if you want prosperity. Do you get what I mean? If you want to live a prosperous life. So you need to take that cloth of shame away. The cloth of pain. The pain, every time women go through pain, if they're not healed, they get used to pain, they love pain, they embrace pain. And if you are not healed from the pains that have happened to you during labor, with the baby daddy you had to deal with the family you had to deal with the child, the type of child you have, you will end up in a relationship with a dude that will give you pain. And you won't see it as pain because you're used to pain. Okay, pain, when I see people with, you know, I know some of you will disagree with me, but I don't really care. When I see people with loads of tattoo everywhere, I know they're dealing with some sort of pain or depression or stress, because getting a tattoo done is painful, right? Getting piercing done is painful. It's not painless, it's painful. So the question is, why are you consistently doing something that is causing pain at that moment? Do you get what I'm saying? Even though it's not painful after, you know, months later, but it's painful when you do it. So why do you like engaging in painful activity? Because there's a part of you that hasn't been healed yet, and you need to work on that. Okay, and forgiving yourself is the first step. And if you feel like the only way you can work through it is by talking it out with somebody, by actually communicating it with somebody, well, the good thing is you can message me on Instagram and we can talk it out together. And I'll be willing to help, and I'll be willing to give you all my ears. And if you don't want to talk to me about it, then you need to seek a good therapist that could help you out with it. My suggestion would be a therapist that is based off of your religion. And also, having a relationship with God will also help with that healing process. So, let's talk about affirmations. Every time you wake up, I want you to always say that, look, yes, I'm a single mother, but I'm also going to live my life to the fullest. I'm going to enjoy this life that God has given to me, and I'm also going to inspire other people, and I'm going to make sure that I will become the best version of myself, and I'm going to work through this process of healing, of forgiving myself and forgiving others who have offended me. Because if you don't forgive people and you don't forgive yourself and you don't let go of that, you are forever going to carry pain towards people, and you're only going to attract pain. That's what you're going to attract. You won't attract a prosperous lifestyle. You will only attract a painful lifestyle. So my prayer for you all is that the Lord will work in your heart to heal you all, and for you all to let go of the past, let go of pain, let go of shame, let go of guilt, and for God to work in your heart to become more loving and to become more caring towards yourself, okay? To love yourself, to cherish yourself, your children, and your family, and to learn to love people with the love of God. That's my prayer for you all. So that's it for this video. If you like it, hit the like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, because that's the community I'm building right now, where single mothers, we can, you know, talk and engage. Reach out to me on Instagram if you want to reach out to me on Instagram. I'm available, ready to talk to you all. And that is it for this video. Stay blessed and stay beautiful. Bye.